What is going on, guys? This is Daniel. What a deadline for Miami, and it's absolutely perfect. I had a video on them ready. So I think it's fair to say that the Heat have several lethal offensive weapons, as they do have the 6th ranked offense in the NBA. But today I'm focusing on just one weapon, which is their use of dribble handoffs. As we look at the leaders in dribble handoffs, we see the Heat lead the league in handoff frequency, producing a shot or turnover on 9.1 possessions per game out of handoffs. But what makes them so unique is along with their handoff volume, they also lead the league in handoff efficiency. So I decided to dive deep into how they use handoffs and why they're having so much success. Also, for the rest of the video, I will refer to the dribble handoff by its abbreviation DHO. Let's get to it. They first love to use DHOs in transition and early offense, particularly for Duncan Robinson, who's shooting 43% from 3, and it's almost always with a big handing it off and screening for him. My favorite is when Bam first catches it on an outlet pass before the DHO. There's the outlet, and this creates pace, so the ensuing DHO is tougher to defend. Not many centers are as comfortable with the ball as Bam, so I love how Miami will use him almost like a point center receiving outlet passes, which is pretty much unheard of. I mean, check out this play. Outlet to Bam and then boom, right into the DHO. How are you supposed to guard that? Here, we see Bam gets it on the outlet and the left side is crowded. But notice how Duncan quickly improvises and sets a back screen for Hero. Then, after setting the screen, he can go right into the handoff. Just smart basketball. If you're wondering why the Heat get so many clean looks off of this, it's because many teams have their center drop in DHO coverage. So here when Bam hands it off and sets a decent screen for Hero, this is an open 3 with Gobert in the paint. Now regarding their DHO game, I hope new addition Andre Iguodala can do a bit of what James Johnson did for them, so watch these next 2 plays with Iguodala in mind. What Adebayo and Johnson did well was grab and go in transition. Here it's a 3-on-2, and notice how Johnson seeks out Robinson with the DHO and then pivots in to screen the defender. Imagine this is Iguodala pushing the pace and getting it to one of the best shooters in the league with a DHO. And this is actually a really good concept here because it counters what the defense is trying to do. As Johnson speeds into the half court, it's up to the defenders one pass away to move in and close the driving gaps. So as Brown's momentum crashes away from Duncan, Johnson gets into the DHO, which he can use to set a screen on Brown. This is a pretty smart transition tactic. And just remember, Iguodala spent the last 6 years finding legendary shooters, sometimes with handoffs, so he and Robinson should have good chemistry together. I compare him to Johnson just in the sense they are both forwards who can handle, pass, and lead the break. In early offense, they also like to use the handoff in their give-and-go game. Dragic throws it to Olynyk on the wing, and they'll look for the pitch. Very simple, but when done with pace, the speed of it can surprise defenses. They can run it off of a dead ball, and first, notice that the other 3 players are on the other side of the court, giving the 2-man game space. And what I also like is how read and react this play is. For example here, Mills overplays the pitch, so Dragic can simply cut middle, and here it forces a switch, which Dragic can attack, and he draws a foul. The big can also fake the pitch to attack himself, which is what Derrick Jones Jr. does on this play. Let's move on to the half court and talk about their high post game. They'll hit the high post during a set or often naturally in the flow of the offense. So here, after Robinson doesn't have a shot off of the screen, he hits Bam and he has 2 main options, screen away or come back for the handoff. Here he comes for the handoff, doesn't get it, but Bam delivers a sweet pass for the layup. I like utilizing this high post game to create a bit more ball and player movement. For instance, many teams would have Bam set a ball screen here, but especially with Duncan, Miami will play out of the high post. Here Duncan screens away, and look at this. Now none can come off of a screen and get a DHO in the flow of the offense. As we watch this play again, notice why this is a good action. Paul is guarding none, but because he had to maneuver around Robinson's screen, he gets off balance, and this gives Nunn the advantage he needs to get an open 3. And I like how they play out of the high post organically. Here it's off an offensive rebound where Duncan opts to hit Leonard, then we see Duncan screen away, and they're in it. And during the high post game, the big can always fake the handoff. So here Bam gets it, and he doesn't like what he has, so he can fake the pitch and dribble into a different DHO on top. Every once in a while this will happen, where here the fake pitch fools Vucevic, allowing Bam to then attack the rim. Also, I do want to re-emphasize how important the personnel aspect is, as the Heat had 3 bigs who are skilled handlers to put the handoffs in motion, so they intelligently played to their strengths. Look how Olynyk starts to play with 2 fake handoffs here, and then they're off and playing with pace. Hopefully Johnson is reinvigorated in Minnesota because he's a really fun player to watch. Now, the Heat also have Myers Leonard, and it's evident he doesn't have the same feel to execute the DHOs. Here he catches it, and if he showed a bit more foresight, he could have turned to hand it off to Butler, who is already coming for the handoff, but he doesn't see the opportunity and turns it over. Lastly, let's talk about Robinson creating space before the handoff. He really knows how to move off ball, and here watch him juke every which way before zooming into the handoff. This is really important because it's why handoffs are much more effective for Duncan. On this play, Adebayo could sprint into a ball screen, but with the ball, Duncan isn't as dynamic. But once he gives it up, I swear, he and other shooters like JJ Redick become twice as elusive, and he can create separation like a slot receiver. He's good at going from 0 to 100 in an instant, and here it fools his defender. And just by changing speeds, look at that separation he's created, which he could have never done with the dribble. You may be wondering why teams aren't more aggressive when Robinson gets the DHO, but keep in mind if you blitz Robinson, that can give up the roll. Here Muscala looks to take away the 3, so Duncan slips it to Olynyk for the slam. And the reason I'm spending so much time on Robinson is because minimum 50 possessions, he's leading the league in points per possession scored off of handoffs. 1.48 is an insane number, and no one else with a significant volume is even close. So he's obviously a big reason for the Heat's DHO success. Also, I did want to briefly point out that a lot of these plays worked because Bam is a mean, strong screener, and here he sets a good one. Well, there you have it, guys. I focus mainly on the Heat's more organic handoffs, but they also run some nice set plays involving handoffs too. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any video suggestions, and see you next time.